Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon and good morning, depending upon which time and which place you are joining us from. And I pray that everyone around you is safe and sound. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Story of Opportunity with your host and coach, Coach Sisodia. As you are aware, in our attempt to give back to the community, we invite change makers who are making a difference in life of others. This story of opportunity is my tribute to all the great leaders. For those of you who are joining me for the first time or who would be listening to this podcast, I'm Aditya Sisodia. I'm a professional coach, I'm a consultant, and I'm also a corporate trainer and a facilitator. In our today's show, we have got a very amazing speaker, someone who I really look up to, and I got introduced over LinkedIn. Our speaker for the day is Mr. Rajesh Srivastava. He is former CEO, JK Helen Curtis, adjunct facility at IIM Indore, former, and corporate trainer. And also, he's an established author. He is a alumni of IIM Bangalore and IIT Kanpur. With over 3+ decade of his experience, he shares his experience with what are the new rules of marketing. And all his marketing rules are very simple and very empowering. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we'll see the speaker on the other side and let's roll the intro.
Hi, the world around us is changing. Here's how. News. I got news from newspaper, but now I get it from a screen. Taxi. I had to go down to the road, try taking a cab, and most often I was refused. Now Uber comes straight to where I am. Shopping. I had to go to the shop during the shopping hours and carry back whatever I had shopped. With Amazon, I can shop 24/7, 365 days, and whatever I've shopped gets delivered at home. The way I consume news, the way I travel, the way I shop has changed. And there are brands and businesses which have actually brought about a change in my life. This book unfolds the mystery of the new ways of doing business which most of these companies are trying to keep under wraps. When you read this book, you will get a ringside view of new perspectives, new insights of how these companies have created businesses with which we have fallen in love. Having understood that, you too can create brands and businesses with which your customers will fall in love.
Hello, sir. Welcome to the show. It's a sheer pleasure to host you.
Hey, hi Aditya. Honor to be on your show. Thank you so much for inviting.
Likewise, sir. Likewise. And currently, sir, we are running live on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And so, this is a true privilege for me to get this mastermind class up close and personal with you. I have gone through your status. I regularly follow you on LinkedIn. I have read your book. I still remember the first time when you had recommended your book on LinkedIn. I got excited. I bought it. I read it from cover to cover. And even today, I refer it to many of the people I come across to learn about the basic fundamentals of marketing. Great, sir. So, sir, the format of our show is we have certain questions curated, and we'll also be taking in live Q&A from our audience, sir. So, sir, this is my first question, and this is also uh, very close to all the speakers. The question is, why have you chosen this topic for our today's conversation, which is also the title of your book, The New Rules of Marketing? Please, sir, guide us.
Uh, Aditya, it's a very simple thing. Over the last 15 years, I have traveled across the world, have taught at various universities in India and abroad, and consulted many companies in various parts of the world. And what I discovered, much to my dismay, is that most of the companies that I consulted, and they were some of the finest names in the world, and some of the B schools in which I taught, which were some of the finest B schools of the world, they were actually teaching things which were getting redundant, right? So, for example, let's do a live demo, right? Let me ask you,
Yes.
what do you think is the job? Your job. Suppose you worked in a company. Your job is to protect the interest of your company. Do you agree? Disagree? What do you feel?
Agree, sir. Agree.
Well, in 21st century, you cannot protect the interest of the company. You are in the
Yes.
business of protecting the interest of your customers. When customers are happy, they will give you repeat business, and then the company will be happy. Let me give you the second one, and please look at it just as how things have changed.
Okay, sir.
The second question is, my job is to keep customers happy. My job is to keep customers happy. Do you agree or disagree? Your
Yes,
intuitive
sir.
answer. Your
Uh,
intuitive answer.
yes, customer clients, if they are happy, they would give me repeat business.
So you are saying I agree that we should keep customers happy. But
Hmm.
that's the old rule. The new rule is in 21st century when we work in a service economy, experience economy, who delivers the service is the employees. So if employees are unhappy, they will deliver bad service, bad experience to customers. And if customers are unhappy, they will never give you repeat business. So in 21st
Wow.
century, there are two gods. One God is certainly the customer who we have to keep happy. The second God is employees. So in 21st century, if you just keep your customers happy,
Hmm.
you aren't going to go very much up. What you got to do is you got to keep both your customers and employees happy, because happy employees make happy customers. Happy customers give you repeat business. Right? Let me ask you a third question.
Yes, sir.
My job is to keep my customer satisfied,
Hmm.
to deliver customer satisfaction. What do you think?
Sir, now I'm becoming nervous. Yes,
No,
I would say yes. Job is to make customer satisfied.
right? So in 21st century, that's a real outdated principle, because we have three concepts. One is a product, which was a
Mm-hmm.
product economy, which is 1940s, 60s, where we made Coca-Cola,
Mm-hmm.
General Motors made cars. So that was the product economy. Then
Mm-hmm.
90s became the service economy.
Mm-hmm.
But 21st century, particularly after 2005, we
Hmm.
become an experience economy. So your job is not to keep customers satisfied, but to deliver super awesome, pleasurable experience to your customers. And
Wow.
let me just ask you a simple question, the last one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
My job is to keep my customers happy. I'll
Okay,
be
sir.
happy if my customers are happy.
Yes, sir.
Well, in 21st century, that may not be the right perspective. Your job is not to keep your customers happy. That is, they are of no use to you. You have to make sure that your customers become your brand advocate. They go and scream from every rooftop and say, Aditya Sisodia is the best coach in the world. Suppose, take your business. If
Yes, sir.
your clients are just satisfied with you, but they
Hmm.
don't scream and scream that
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Shishodia is good, what is the use to you? In
Agree.
21st century, you don't have satisfied customers. That's a low hanging fruit.
Hmm.
Have customers who are your brand advocates, who will go and scream, shout to everybody who will care and listen to them that Coach Shishodia is the best coach the world has seen. That is what you got to create. Now let's go back.
Yes, sir.
Let's go back.
Mm-hmm.
We believe that our job, the earlier rule was to protect interest of company. The
Yes,
new
sir.
rule is protect the interest of customers.
Hmm.
But every company is protecting their interest. The old rule was to keep customers satisfied, give them a satisfaction. But the new
Mm-hmm.
rule is to deliver super awesome experience.
Yes, sir.
The earlier rule is to keep customers happy. Now the new rule is to keep employees happy. If you have to do one, choose one over the other. So what I felt during my journey across the world dealing with corporates and B schools, that they were actually, corporates were following the old rules of doing business, and the students were being taught the old way of doing business, which means they were taught about how the last war was fought, but never how to win the next war.
Agree. Agree.
And
Agree.
this actually told me that in an era of smartphones, our people are using rotary phones.
Agree. Agree.
And when I studied deeper, what I realized is that there are companies like Tesla, Facebook, Google, Amazon, you name all these new age companies, Twitter, Starbucks. They are dismantling the old rules of business and installing new rules. And most of us, unfortunately, are still following the old rules. And like the analogy I drew, if you still follow the old rules, it's like sending postcard in an era of email. The postcard will reach, but by the time it reaches, it will be of no value. So this is what prompted me to write this book called The New Rules of Business, to awaken in people this awareness that times have changed. If you still follow that old rule, it's like using postcard. If you still follow the old rules, it's like using a rotary phone. You know what? My mother still uses rotary phone, but for her it's only communication, so she's okay. But if we don't use the new rules, we are likely to become redundant and irrelevant, which we will like even less. And that is what prompted me to write the book.
Amazing, sir. Amazing. And we have got so many comments. We have got a comment from Shavik, and Shavik is saying, wow, sir, 10 minutes into the session and flooded with such new perspective and interesting ideas. Welcome, Shavik. Welcome.
Hey,
Great.
hey Shavik, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. And Shavik, make it a point to question everything. You are young, and this world, and you have this responsibility to challenge tradition and to challenge people like us and what we think. It's only when you challenge people like us that you will break the tradition and a new world will emerge. Shavik, don't forget that.
Okay. Shavik, give us a thumbs up or a yes in the comments so that we know that you are going to do what sir has encouraged you. That challenge the notion, challenge every question, everything that comes in front of you. Great, great, great. So, sir, tell us something. How can student be aware? Because talking of this thing, we are in an era of information overload. There are so many online education platform. There are so many books. We are getting audio. There is so much noise in the ecosystem, and at times it becomes overwhelmed. We have this fear of missing out. So how can a person keep themselves updated and relevant about the latest trends?
Well, Aditya, it's a very simple thing.
Hmm.
For instance, what do I do? The first
Yes.
thing that you have to do is first you have to learn without an agenda. You cannot start learning saying that I will learn this because this will be of some use to me. That's the first thing.
Mhm.
And it's not I who am saying it, it is Steve Jobs who said it. So let me give you an example.
Yes, sir.
When he joined Reed's College,
Mhm.
he did not like it, so he dropped out of the college, but he stayed in the dormitory in the campus and he took up this class on calligraphy, which is the handwriting thing. He did not know when it will be used. Even after he completed the course, that beautiful fonts that we get, that's what he was introduced to. He says, I did not know when it will be used. But 10 years later, when I was designing the Mac, it all came back to me. And that's what he said, that when you learn, you have to learn without agenda, always believing that sometime in the future, the dots will connect. So that's the first thing. The second thing, yes, the internet is awash with information, it's awash with data. But what do you have to do is you just have to pick up 10 people who you respect and admire and just look at what they say. So for in my case, I look at the following people just to give you a flavor. I look at what uh, Elon Musk says. I look at what Jeff Bezos says. I look at what Tim Cook says. I look at what Warren Buffett says, right? And so on and so forth. I look at what Mark Zuckerberg says. I look at what Jack Dorsey says, right? I look at these people. They do not make a statement every day. But if you go back and look at the internet, their entire compilation over the last 15 years is as thick as this. It will take me a lifetime to absorb that. And when you start reading it, just don't read it to tick mark, yaar, maine padh liya. You have to reflect and internalize. That takes time. So that is the second thing that I wish to say, that the internet is awash. But don't get into the ocean. Just go to these small ponds that are there, these ponds of excellence, and understand how do they think, how do they plan, how did they create these companies, what did they do to challenge the rules, how did they succeed, how did they fail, what lessons they learned. So that's the second thing. The third thing that you have to do is that after you have learned without agenda and you have decided that I will learn from these people who I respect and admire, then go and teach.
Wow.
Teach those things to your peers every day. Yeah, in the army, you know why they are so strong? They have a concept called a buddy. So Aditya, if me and you were together, I'll make you my buddy. Every day, I will call you at 7, 8 a.m. and say, hey, Aditya, I learned this, yeah. What do you think? And similarly, I'll expect you to call me every day at 8 p.m. and say, I learned this. So the best way of learning is through teaching. So can I just suggest one thing? Don't look at the
Please.
noise. It's of no use to you. Yeah, our life is very short.
Mm-hmm.
Just look at some of the people that you respect and admire. Don't go to what I admire. My list will be different than your list. For example, I also admire Shah Rukh Khan. I admire Amitabh Bachchan. I admire Ratan Tata. Right? I admire Kunal Shah, the great gentleman. And if you ask me, and the point is that just don't admire them. You can ask me, pick up any one of those names, and I'll tell you why I admire them. And also, I will tell you how I have implemented their learnings in my life. Right. So this is how you got to protect yourself.
Wow, wow, wow. That's really powerful, sir, because that really gives a perspective that don't be just be another copycat. Make sure that you have done your research with facts and figures. Because based upon the trends which are going, it becomes very overwhelming at times. Great, sir. Now, sir, there is a follow-up question. The first part which you just answered. The question is, what advice would you give to a smart driven individual about the real world and what advice to ignore? So you gave about the real world, the advice they should follow. What advice to ignore?
It's so I'll just tell you, I'll just go back and say the advice. My advice to myself is very simple, and that's a rule that we have followed in my house. My father followed it. I don't know whether my grandfather followed it, but my father did. We did it in our house, and I expect my son to do it. And that advice is very simple. Every day be better than what you were yesterday, and tomorrow be better than what you were today.
Wow, great.
Remember, whether you are a Sachin Tendulkar, Roger Federer, any one of these guys, right? Elite professional. They don't become elite by spurts, by doing things in spurts. It is consistency.
Mhm.
Ronaldo, Messi, Sachin Tendulkar, Virat Kohli, they practice every day, right? And if you take Sachin or Virat, in our case, their entire mantra is today I'll be better than yesterday and tomorrow I'll be better than what I am today. And this is what is called law of compounding. When you start following this, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that after 3 days you will suddenly be filled with knowledge, inspiration. Of course not. It is like you start going to the gym. At the end of the first week, body thodi na banega. After second month, bhi kuch nahi banega. But after 6 months, you will see the difference, no? And this can only come when you are consistent and persistent and dedicated, right? So this is the first principle. The second principle, what I would request you is, it's the even more important thing. What you should not do. And there are three things, my friend, you should not run after. But unfortunately, yaar, janta usi ke piche bhagti hai. One is money, one is beauty, one is popularity. So can I repeat it, my friend? Iske
Yes,
piche mat bhagna, right?
sure, sir.
So I teach at IIM and I tell these students, hey, listen, guys, don't run after three things:
Hmm.
money, beauty, popularity. They are all external to you. They are pleasures. I am here. This is pleasure. Pleasure is momentary. They never give you happiness and joy. Joy and happiness is inside. So when you chase money, when you chase beauty, when you chase popularity, you are always going to be unhappy because somebody will be more beautiful than you, someone will earn more than you, somebody will be more popular than you. So why run after that? So then the next question is, what should I run after? Yeah, run after three things. First, every day add value to yourself. Like I said,
Be
the
better
first
than
thing.
yesterday.
Yeah. Second thing, this is the most important thing that you could ever do in your life, which I referred to first time. Always add value to others. always. And the third thing, and which is the most important thing, is be always in the company of people better than you. You know
Hmm.
why?
Why, sir?
Heat flows from hot to cold. So I am the cold person. I'm always in company of people better than me. तो उनका knowledge ना मेरे पास आता है, right? और जब मैं उनके company में रहता हूँ ना तो बोलता नहीं हूँ, सुनता हूँ. So I'll just give you one thing.
Hmm.
If you go to Harvard, not the 2 year program, the advanced
Hmm.
management program,
Hmm.
where almost 800 people from all over the world come.
Hmm.
So the first slide, Aditya, that they put up there, the first slide, and this
Hmm.
happens regularly. The first slide that they put up there, at least in this particular case, I'm saying, was the picture of a man, just
Hmm.
the picture of a man on as a PPT. And the faculty, the professor asks 800 CEOs, powerful people from all over the world, what do you see?
Hmm.
Somebody said, I see a face, hair, man, whatever they said. And then the professor said, you know what? Look at this picture very carefully. It shows the picture of a man who has one mouth and 2 ears. It is to tell you that you should speak less and listen more. Right? Follow the law of nature. ये एक, ये दो. बोलो कम, सुनो ज्यादा. Right? This is what they taught in Harvard. So ये हम लोग को follow करना चाहिए. Particularly when you are in the company of people better than you, चुप रहो, सुनो, absorb करो, उनसे क्वेश्चन पूछो और उनका नॉलेज अपने अंदर absorb करके internalize करो. फिर अपने बडी को बोलो यार ये मैंने सीखा, इज इट गुड? वो बोलेगा यार ये समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. सो टीचिंग इज द बेस्ट फॉर्म ऑफ लर्निंग.
Hmm. Wow, wow, sir. Wow, that's really strong. So, sir, but how would you encourage? Because we are so much tempted in the today's social media race, where it is more of a popularity contest. We feel left out if we do not check a notification. If we are not on the latest platform, there is this temptation, sir. So, what would you advise? Because it takes a lot of discipline, sir.
Aditya,
Hmm.
my friend,
Hmm.
all these technology companies, whether it is my, whether Amazon, whether this company, right, the
Hmm.
smartphone guy, or whether it is Uber or Tesla, they are designed to make these products addictive. For example, let's take this here. I'm just let me get this guy out, right? Where is it? Let me get Facebook, right? I'm
Hmm.
just giving you Facebook as an example, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Here, Facebook, I keep
Yeah.
scrolling down. Now, what have we learned when we were children? We were learned that, oh, forget it, I'm not plugging my book. This is a
Uh,
notebook, right?
uh,
It has a beginning and it has an
uh,
end.
hmm.
शुरू होता है और खत्म होता है तो हम लोग को पता है it starts and it ends somewhere. This is what we are conditioned. Now comes Facebook. I start on Facebook and I keep on scrolling down. It doesn't end. I don't know where to stop and I'm addicted. All these technology, I mean, not all,
uh,
technology companies are designing products that are designed to make you addictive and you're falling for it. And
in
I can
fact,
give you, and I can give you any number of examples. Say, for example, e-commerce sites make you buy things which you don't require.
hmm.
And if you wish, I can share that with you. So if you say, of course, they are designed that way, therefore they have succeeded, and you are saying that I'm addicted to it or I feel left out, that is the reason why it is designed that way. And you should not fall victim to these things. Aren't we? Haven't we been through our education? Haven't we been told that information that comes here should process? This is what is our CPU. Then why aren't we using it? Why are we falling for somebody else's game?
Agree, sir. This is
And you
really
can
sir.
ask me, meaning e-commerce sites make you buy things that you don't require. Uber makes the driver drive even when they think they can't. And I can tell you the reason right here. And only when you understand why they are designed that way that you will be able to control yourself.
Agree, sir.
Hey, apology for this, but the point is that that you guys are smart guys, right? How can you fall for such things, my friend?
Agree. In fact, day before yesterday, I came across this new term, doomsday scrolling. doomsday scrolling in smartphone. What is doomsday? Till the end of the world, you keep on scrolling. Like you also told, it's an endless one. In a book, we have a starting and an end.
Yeah.
It's great, sir.
In
So,
a relationship, we have start and end, but in Tinder, there is no start and end. There is no
swipe
start.
left, swipe right. Agree, sir. Agree. So, sir, now this is also one of the question which I would like to know, like, how has a failure or an apparent failure set you up for success, and which is your favorite failure if you could pinpoint one?
See, the failure that really set me up for success was an advice given to me by my boss. I used to handle a brand called Backpiper. So the tagline is "खूब जमेगा रंग जब मिल बैठेंगे तीन यार आप मैं और
Back.
Backpiper." Right. Now we were doing a promotion. The promotion was so we were a film star brand. So we had put this was way back in 1988, where many of you won't have been, you
One
weren't
also.
born. Yeah, so that's how old I am. It gets reflected somewhere on receding hairline and white hair. But the point is, I was a brand manager with passion. I wanted to make Backpiper India's largest selling brand of whiskey. So since the brand was Backpiper, so we decided to hold a contest that every Backpiper drinker has a chance of becoming a film star. It's a film star brand. So what we did is we put a contest. It was called Backpiper Golden Silver Screen Acting Talent Contest. Backpiper acting talent screen Backpiper something Silver Screen Acting Talent Contest, right? So anyone who bought Backpiper, he got a form, he filled it, he sent it to us, and of course there was a tiebreaker. Why do you think you'll become a film star, right? When we got those forms, we screened it, and then we had a panel of very eminent producers. Some of the most eminent names are even today there, and we gave those shortlisted forms to these guys, and these guys were then called right at various venues, and the prize was that if you won this contest, you got a shot at acting, right? These producers will launch you in a film, meaning not launch you but give you a role in the film, right? Now, what happened was this is a very big promotion for us, and I planned it. But unfortunately, like the vaccine thing, the demand got created, but the scheme stock was not available in the market. Like today, everyone wants a vaccine for the right reason. Same case, there was a huge demand for it, but the stocks with the form were not available. So my boss got very very upset with me, and he called me to his room, and he told me this message. He says, Rajesh, you are one of the most creative guys I have ever met in my life. His exact words were, you're the best marketing guy I have ever met in my life. You are the best marketing guy I have ever met in my life. But your execution stinks. मतलब उन्होंने हिंदी में बोला, so you can understand what he must have said. You're the best marketing guy I've ever seen in my life, but your execution stinks. The day your execution equals your marketing, you'll be the best marketing guy in the country. Can I just repeat it? He
Please, sir.
said, you're the best marketing guy I have ever come across, but your execution stinks. The day your execution becomes equal to marketing, you will be the best marketing guy in the world. That lesson I took to heart, and almost 12 years later, I won the best marketer of the year award in India, right? So that's the failure, that lesson I learned. And the second thing was another big thing which I learned was, no matter who your opposition is, never stop thinking. What happened was we were making a film, right? And the film was very, very good. And we had decided how to make the film. Then I got a call from my advertising agency who said, and I don't want to take, because that film producer has made a cult film. He's no longer with us, so the name is not important. But he is one of the most respected film producers, in fact, director and producer, right? So my advertising agency told me, sir, this film that we have finalized with everything, there has been a new development. This film producer who's made a cult film, he's interested in directing this film. I was in seventh heaven. It's like Shah Rukh Khan coming and saying, I want to act in your ad film. Yeah, Shah Rukh, I mean, you're too big. That's what I felt. I said, you're too big for us. So I told the agency, I think he's too big for us. He says, no, 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 you meet him. He's very, very keen to do this film for you. I said, okay. So this very popular film producer walked into the office and everybody in the office was thrilled. And then they thought I'm so big that some guy comes to meet me. So he came and met me and we were having a discussion. And I said, are you really interested? It's a small film by your standard. He says, no, no, I'm very interested. I'm very interested. I said, can you make it a cult film? He says, of course, that goes without saying. I was so overwhelmed and overtaken that I stopped thinking and I said, here's the project, please. He took the project, he made the film, and when I saw the film, it was a disaster. It was terrible. And then I started thinking why. And then I realized that there are certain film producers who make a film a big hit. Before they start the next film, they have a time. So many of these people use that time to make advertising film as an additional source of income.
Okay.
And that is the day I discovered that no matter who the opposition is, no matter what his reputation is, never give up thinking. And that's when Sehwag said it best. Sehwag said, somebody asked him, यार तू कैसे बड़े बड़े bowler को मारता है? तो बोलता है, I hit the ball and I play the ball, not the reputation. So friends, can I just tell you about Sehwag, and that's what you should follow. Sehwag was asked, how do you hit such sixers to all these these world class bowlers? He says, I never play the reputation, I play the ball on merit. And from that day onwards, intuitively, I also followed. No matter who the opposition is, who is on the other side of the table, I will never stop thinking. That day, to that producer, I stopped thinking, and that's the biggest mistake that I made. I've never, no matter what happens, I will always think. That's my lesson.
Great, sir. So, sir, we have got many questions from our audience, and I'll start displaying it on the screen, which we have got it from LinkedIn and YouTube. So, I'm just showing the first question is from and Shavik. So, I'm just displaying it on the screen. Shavik has mentioned the field of sales is not always the most sorted out profession for freshers, as they all have resistance towards it. And Shavik is asking, sir, do you think the new rules of business will change the perspective in any way? Shavik is a management graduate in his last semester from Calcutta.
Shavik, don't look upon new rules as business as a panacea for all your problems, yaar, khaya or bimari. New rules is to change your mindset, how you look at it. So this is the first part. So if you ask me, the answer is it may never change it will never give you an answer to this question, but it will certainly give you a perspective. And to answer that question that you have given, which I have answered there is, what is the eventual job? If you ask me, what is the eventual job of any company? Just tell me that the eventual job of any company is to get revenue. Okay, let me just go one step ahead. A company thrives on cash flow. If there is no cash flow, the company will die. It is like you. If the blood does not flow through you, you will die. A company lives, survives, thrives on something called cash flow. Who generates the cash flow, my friend? Does the marketing guy do it? Does the production guy do it? Does everybody is there in that chain? But who is first among equal? The sales guy. He is the guy who takes the product and makes it available to the customer so that the customer buys it and the money comes in. This is the first principle. And the second principle that I want to tell you, if you really want to know business, go and start with sales. I started with sales, and I can tell you any number of instances from my life where sales gave me a perspective. So can I just say this again? Lifeblood of an organization is cash flow. If the cash does not come, the organization dies. Who creates that cash flow? Tell me that. And answer that for yourself. It's the sales guys. And if you don't understand sales, you don't understand how revenue gets generated. And if you don't understand that, you can never be the CEO of a company. Once you understand that, then if you read rules of business, then you will get a perspective of how to create an enduring business.
Great, sir. Great, sir. So at this point, we'll just take a short 30 seconds break. And on the other side, we will, because I don't want your throat also to be dry.
Oh no,
Okay.
I'm quite comfortable.
Just a quick 30 seconds break. Okay, sir? And here is our break, sir. Thank you, sir. And we are back, sir. And Nitish has asked us a question. Nitish is also a final year student, management graduate. And this is a common pain point among all the students, be it engineering or be it any other domain. It has been an online education, and students have been fatigued by the online webinars, more or less because of lack of any physical touch point. Students are feeling that they haven't polished any skill. And Nitish mentioned he's a bit afraid that he might be redundant in the market because of lack of interaction. And over the last 1.5 year, he has just been at his house and attending online classes, apart from those online courses. So, what is your thought? What can a student do in such a situation?
Nitish, I just told you in the first part, have buddy concept. Like if I were you, I would do two things. I'll make Aditya my buddy, and I'll make you my buddy. Right? And what I will do is at every day at 8 o'clock, I will call Aditya and say, Aditya, this is what I've learned. What do you think? Every day at 11 a.m., Nitish, I'll call you and say, hey, Nitish, these are the new things I've learned, in my MBA, etc. Let's apply it to Apple. Or I will ask you, Nitish, tell me, why is Apple the world's most valuable company? Let's apply some of the principles framework. And then I will tell both of you, you can ask me any question. So Aditya or Nitish, you can just ask me any management question. Ask any management question. And this is how three of us can learn. So I asked, let's say Aditya, I ask you, tell me, why is Apple the world's most valuable company? Nitish, I ask you this question, where did the idea of Twitter come from? Right? Now, the more I ask you, so what am I doing? I'm going to provoke you to apply the learning, make you think. So I just don't understand, Nitish, why are you saying that you're stuck at home? With these devices, you FaceTime your friends. What's your problem? You have so much more time. You don't have to commute. You don't have to, I mean, sorry, yeah, at my age I can say that. You don't have to like मतलब time pass किधर canteen में नहीं करते हैं ना जाके यार listen, I teach at IIM Indore हाँ और मैं उनको बोलता था 3 बजे वो लोग क्रिकेट खेलते थे और 9 बजे मेरे क्लास में आते थे यार ये क्या बात कर रहे हो तुम लोग सो कैंटीन में तो मस्ती करते हैं ना ट्रैवल में तो यू नो व्हाट यू गाइस डू नॉट ड्यूरिंग ट्रैवल और क्लास में बैठ के तुम लोग ना मुंह से नहीं बात करते व्हाट्सएप एक दूसरे को करते रहे राइट तो वो सब डिस्ट्रैक्शन तो नहीं है ना यार एंड नीतीश जस्ट सेट अप अ बडी सिस्टम exchange knowledge and force your knowledge onto others and get other people to force you to think तुम पूछो ना यार what is the Uber system why does Uber deliver a service to you look at and Nitish the other thing that you should do is just understand the pain point that you have in your life and see if you had to solve it how would you solve it using principles of management that you've learned so I just don't understand what you're saying Nitish you are just using this as an excuse not to improve yourself and I feel sorry for you because tomorrow when you come in corporate boss तो इससे भी बड़ा जालिम होगा वो तो तुमको समय भी नहीं देगा रिपोर्ट भी एक्सपेक्ट करेगा परफॉर्मेंस भी एक्सपेक्ट करेगा और यू नो मतलब मैं बोल नहीं सकता बुरा भला भी कहेगा मंथ के एंड पे बहुत बहुत जूते पड़ते हैं राइट तो वो वर्ल्ड तो इससे भी ज्यादा डिफिकल्ट है नितिश and can I therefore say this in a very strong thing whatever and please remember this lockdown always remember and never ever forget this always say that whatever situation you are in be happy because things could have been worse
Agree,
right Nitish? And what I'm saying is use digital devices, use FaceTiming, use all the people around you, tap into their knowledge, get them to challenge you. That is how learning grows. And let me just say this again to you. People go to Harvard not for the classroom, not so much for the professor, but for the pure learning. So I can tell you with a fair degree of confidence, even in IIM, the pure learning is much more than what learning happens in the classroom. Of course, there are some brilliant people, brilliant faculty. Please, I think I'm also one of them. But hey, when I used to teach in IIM Indore,
Uh,
my now I don't teach.
hmm.
My brand management course was very, very popular, very popular. There used to be 210 students who used to sign up. And many people who could not attend my course used to just come and say, Sir, can I just sit in your class to listen to you? Right? That is reputation. So forget that. What I'm only trying to say is that even in an IIM, the learning comes from the peer discussion that you have. And what is stopping you from having peer discussion? And in IIM, you have that limited number of people. Here, you have the world to have a conversation with on LinkedIn. I mean, LinkedIn, you just go and see the quality of content there, engage with the people.
Agree, sir. Agree. And this is something where we lack upon. Like when you touched upon, now, when was the last time? I encourage all the people in my community, people who are watching or listening to this later as a podcast, just ask yourself, when was the last time you really picked up a phone and asked someone, okay, what is new you are learning? What is upcoming thing that you feel I should engage into? And this is the actual peer-to-peer learning. Great perspective.
And
So,
the question that you should always ask the first time you pick up first time you speak to somebody, don't say, "Yaar, kya chal raha hai?" Bowl. There are two favorite things of today. Bowl. क्या चल रहा है? बता यार. उसको पूछो. Tell me something new that you have learned and exciting. Tell me something that I don't know. These are the starters that you give so that people know that you are interested in knowing something new that person has learned. So give them openers. Tell me something new. Tell me something that you enjoyed. What is the new thing that you've learned? Tell me something exciting. Ask open-ended questions and then listen to the answer.
so, sir, another question that we have is from our YouTube is Dhara K. Goenka, who is a fashion entrepreneur and she's a celebrity designer. She designed Indian ethnic wear for celebrities and for people, and she's purely into B2C. She has a Google My Business. She's also supporting local artisan with the ethnic work where you had mentioned take care of your employees and have satisfied customer. She's doing that. She has she because of the pandemic she is unable to open her store. She is promoting herself. People are speaking to her. Many of the Bollywood celebrities do endorse her work. Now, this is her background, what she has written that, good evening, sir. I'm a fashion entrepreneur. One pro tip that you would give for young startup, I have a brand, Dhara Goenka label.
Dhara, very, very simple. Digitize your business. Digitize your business. Can I tell you how?
Please.
Can I tell you how? No, okay. So Dhara first is called, and this is for everybody. Any successful business is built on consumer insight. Consumer insight is what? Consumer insight is what is, why do people buy, let's say, women's dressing? So Dhara, let me give you my consumer insight about women shopping. Women never shop alone. They always go and shop, at least in groups. So in my case, I always accompany my wife for shopping. We stay in Lower Parel, so Phoenix Mall used to be very close by. And I'll tell you what used to happen. And this is so, to Nitish, what did I say? Try and understand the customer pain point and solve it. So Dhara, here's the customer pain point that I saw in women shopping, and you can eliminate and make your brand one of the world's most desirable brand. Here it goes. So when I go with my wife to Zara to shop, first thing is my wife has this huge trouble of deciding which one to check out. They only allow, I think, three, right? Then she takes those three dresses in those small cubicles and she tries. She tries one, comes and shows me for a feedback and review I give. So while I'm waiting there, I see other, customers also trying and then checking it out with their friends how they like it. Now, because it is physical shopping, what are the pain points? My wife, or let's say an Indian women customer, wants to try all the dresses in the shop. Two, the gatekeeper there allows only three. To change is a hassle. To get a review from one friend is very limited research. Now let's come to technology. Because physical stores are closed, use this to your advantage and digitize your business. What is digitizing your business? Open a digital store. So there is a magic mirror right in front of a woman. So I'm there. Let's take this, right? I'm there and I want a shirt. Just assume that, right? So what happens is all your shirts are there and I drag and there is a magic mirror in front of me. I drag the shirt on me. As soon as I drag the shirt, it shows how it looks on me. I drag, drop. Now this is, I can try all your dresses figuratively, right, and see how I look. Now because this is a magic mirror, right up there is a camera, right? Whichever dress, let's say I like, I just take a pic. I tried almost all the dresses, I took pics. Now what do? I upload those 3 pics on Instagram and ask my friend, hey, I tried out these 3 options, which is the best? Now, what feedback do they get? Hey, this is super. You look stunning. Oh, it stings. And you get an entire feedback. Now, when you put it on Insta, the whole world is giving you your review. And based on that, you choose. And once you have chosen, then what happens? You pay contactless, right? And Dhara, you are a designer. So why do women buy dress? My insight is to women don't buy dress for themselves. They buy dress to create envy in their friend circle. Men buy dress. I mean, I think I buy dress for myself. But women don't buy comfortable dress. They will buy that dress which will create envy and jealousy in our friend circle. And the moment you share this on Insta, can you imagine the rock star that your customer will become? Now you see, will your business only be limited to physical store, or through this digital experience you've exploded the market? And Aditya, this is what I was saying. In the current form, Dhara is just giving customer service. In a physical store, come try, we'll give you service. But when she looks at her experience using digital backbone, see what is she doing? So Dhara, have you got my perspective? Please say yes, no, can't say.
So Dara has mentioned yes, and she has also commented upon that she is also from Mumbai. So
Oh my
great,
God. Hey Dara, it's a great city we live in. Mumbai is one of the great cities of the world. I can tell you that. Ooh.
great. And we also got another comment from Anuradha, a very good friend and a peer coach, over the previous point that peer learning is priceless. Even at this age, I enjoy learning. And the fun part is, if you are open to learning comes from all direction. Thank you for reinforcing this. Thank you, Anuradha. That's really a pleasure.
Another for you. This is only for you. This is not my thinking. This is Satya Nadella's thinking, and this is the mindset that he has inculcated in Microsoft to make it, I think, now the second most valuable company. He said that everybody in Microsoft should shun this mindset. I know it all, and adopt a learn it all. So, for everyone who's listening to Aditya's podcast, most of us have this I know it all. Remove that mindset and adopt a new mindset. Learn it all. जो मिले उसको सीखो यार. This goes back to what I was saying earlier. Yes, sir.
And Dhara has also commented that thank you, sir. Amazing tip. I would surely implement this tip. Great, Dhara. Watching for your updates. Amazing.
Hey, Dara, thank you so much. Yes, you're very gracious in your comment.
Great. And Shavik has also mentioned, sir, I'm just in awe of your wisdom. That was such a beautiful explanation. Thank you so much.
Hey Shavik,
Good.
so nice of you. When you reach my age, you will inspire more people than I ever did. Hey, I just want to share this with you, and it's
Please,
very
sir.
important.
Yes, sir.
Each one of us is a brand, and like any company, we should have a purpose. And my purpose in life is to leave India in a better shape than I found it in. My objective, my mission, the reason why I exist is to leave India in a better shape than I found it in, one person at a time. So here, when let's say Shavik asked a question, I gave all that I knew. When Dhara asked a question, I gave all that I knew, with one objective that anyone who interacts with me after the interaction should go away feeling that value has been added. So my mission is to leave India in a better shape than I found it in. And everyone who meets my students call me, I always give them a perspective, a perspective which enriches their thinking.
That's really powerful. And sir, even one of my mentor, Marshall Goldsmith, has coined this word knowledge philanthropy. Idea is to give back whatever you have gained in this lifetime, and in this lifetime only give it away, so that later on,
No,
please sir,
please continue.
so that people are able to use it, reuse it, recycle it, and it becomes better and better with upcoming generation.
And I want to use a similar concept. And friends, everyone listening to this podcast, you have to pay it forward. So my students ask me for advice and they say, what can we do for you? And my only answer is, don't do anything for me. Pay it forward. Tomorrow, if anyone asks you for help, for a point of view, take time off to explain to them. The more we pay forward, the better this world will become.
That's really powerful, and we are getting in some great comments. Anuradha has mentioned a great session, uh, great insight, so generous of you. Much gratitude. Thanks, Anuradha. And Shavik has also mentioned, sir, I'm sure you are thriving in your mission. You surely have added value with your experience. Great, Shavik. Great, Shavik. And we have got so many comments just lined up, and I'll just take one more question before we wrap up our today's episode, sir. That question is, Amit Kumar has asked us from YouTube. Sir, is it true marketing and sales profession need to have quality of manipulation to become successful in this field? Because this is how we have been getting information with the documentaries which are coming over Netflix, things like that.
Amit, you should understand the difference between influence and manipulation. Amit, in 21st century, I'm going to share out these 10 skills that you need to have if you need to thrive. And the number 8 skill is what you asked. The first skill in 21st century that you need is critical thinking, creativity, innovation, framing the right questions, smart problem solving, learn to learn, business storytelling, how to influence people without authority, and then of course is humanness and entrepreneurship. These are the skills you need to have. So Amit, coming back to your thing, what is influence? Here, during this 45, 46 minutes, I have been able to influence some of you to think my way. I have influenced you through my competency. So what have I done? Can I just share with you?
Please.
Look at this. Look at this as a y-axis. This is an x-axis. On this is competency. On this is warmth. Right? What have I tried to do from the time our conversation started? On this, what I did was competency. Whenever you asked me a question, I was able to reply with competency your answer. But every time I was warm in terms of the language I used, my body language, the smile, everything. So what happens if you are high on competency and high on warmth? Then you admire me, and over a period of time, this admiration turns to respect, and then it turns to trust. And once you trust somebody, then that person has the power to influence you. But influence should never be misused. So that is influence. You are influencing people. For instance, I am influencing you by exhibiting that I am high on competence and high on warmth, high on emotional intelligence. That's it. And I'm influencing you for your own good. Let's come to manipulation. What is manipulation? Manipulation is that I have an agenda and I want you to actually follow that agenda, and therefore I do all the things to actually get you to behave the way I want, right? So, what is manipulation? Manipulation is that I have a hidden agenda and I want to manipulate you so that you actually subscribe to my agenda. Whereas an influence, I have not told you to subscribe. Like for example, if you take the earlier three people, I have never told them to subscribe. Like Dhara, if you take, I have not told her to subscribe to what I'm telling her. If you take Shobik, I've not told him that this is good, this is bad. I just gave a perspective. So I was able, and why did they give those positive comments? Because I was able to influence them. Once I gave them that input, they processed it and they thought that it is in their interest and advantage, therefore they were positively influenced. Manipulation is that I manipulate you with a mission to get you to do things that I want. So here, Amit, always remember and never ever forget it, any one of you. This is about life. This is not about marketing and sales. So marketing and sales I'll come to, but this is more about life. It's called law of intention. आपकी नियत क्या है? You take this podcast. मेरी नियत क्या है? मेरी नियत ये नहीं है कि मैं और पॉपुलर बन जाऊं. मेरी नियत ये नहीं है कि मुझे कुछ इससे फ़ायदा हो. मेरी नियत एक ही है. My intention is only this, that the knowledge that I have imbibed over 3 odd decades, I want to share it with you. And you will ask me, what is that advantage? Why do you want to share? इससे आपको क्या फ़ायदा है? फ़ायदा एक ही है कि मेरा एज आप देख रहे हो ना, मेरे को 10 साल और जीना है. लेकिन अगर मैंने ये नॉलेज आपको ट्रांसफ़र कर दिया ना, तो मैं अनदर 50 साल तक जीऊँगा आपके थ्रू. Are you getting the point? I have only 10 years to live यार. एज है. Natural process of aging. मैं नहीं रहूँगा 10 साल के बाद. But if I am able to pass on this information to you, I will live through you for another 50 years. Is that not a worthwhile thing to do? तो हमेशा याद रखना, लॉ ऑफ इंटेंशन, तुम्हारी नियत क्या है. मेरी नियत ये है कि मैं अपना नॉलेज तुमको पास ऑन करूं एंड थ्रू यू लिव फॉर अनदर 50 years. दैट्स वन पार्ट. इज इट ट्रू मार्केटिंग एंड सेल का नीड टू हैव क्वालिटी? नो, दे डोंट नीड टू हैव मैनिपुलेशन. वो होता है व्हेन यू हैव अ बैड प्रोडक्ट. टेक मी, like I said, remember, I'm a brand. I don't need to manipulate you to trust me. I have enough content. Why should I manipulate you? जिसके पास दम नहीं होता, when you have a bad product, then you need to manipulate.
Wow.
Hey, sorry, Amit, if I hurt you, please.
No, sir. Amit has just mentioned this, and I'll display it. Thank you for clearing the difference between both the terms. I'll remember it throughout my life.
Hey, Amit, I've influenced you, not manipulated you. Huh?
Amazing. And we have got so many other comments. Nitish has mentioned great sir from YouTube. I'm just displaying it. Then Anuradha from LinkedIn has mentioned influence versus manipulation. So simply explained, bravo. And then Anuradha has also mentioned another point: competency with empathy, with warmth, emotional intelligence. And Ashish mentioned, sir, I must say it is interesting listening to you rather than asking question.
Hey, I wish my wife said it. Yeah.
And then Anuradha has also mentioned lean forward, pay forward, leave the place better than you find it. So simple yet so profound. Great, great, great. So, sir, the last question I would like to ask you is, tell us a bit about your book, and I would be sharing the screen. So this is on Amazon where people can see it. So just tell us a bit about your book, sir. The New Rules of Business.
See, if you see, friends, if you want to make yourself relevant to the 21st century for your job, for your career improvement, or if you're going to give a job interview. So if you want to ace an interview, if you want to get the next promotion, if you are a startup, if you have any one of this, read this book. But don't read this book with the intention कि यार पढ़ लिया हो गया. वो नहीं. इसको अगर तुम दिल से पढ़ोगे और इसके lessons को if you internalize, any question, and I'm telling you, any question asked in the interview, you will give such a smart answer that they will have no option but to select you. Second, if you are a product manager or working in a company, this book will give you examples of how to do your job better. And once you do your job better, the boss will have no reason to hold you back, but you will move up. And if you are in a startup business, this book will help you do things, think in a way that is so amazingly different that you can create. Like Dhara is one example, I shared. Some of these things I've shared here, right? So if you read this book, it's a very cost effective way of acing an interview, of giving smart answers in classes during class participation. If you are a brand manager or if you are in sales, you can come out with smart solutions to challenging business things you face in the market. And if you're a startup guy, then many of the questions that you have, answers are right there. So I can just tell you, so I just want to share with you. So these are some of the brands that I have created, right? Whose experience is here. As a product manager, Bagpiper whiskey became India's largest in India. And I was the guy who presented to Dr. Vijay Mallya how to make Bagpiper whiskey the world's largest, dunya ka largest. And it did become. Second, if you see signature, McDowell signature, the name has been given by me. I'm saying name only, huh? Name, McDowell signature has been given by me. If you watch IPL and you see that RC logo, which adorns the shirts of these cricketers, 21 years back, I had got it designed. I was a strategy guy. The design agency was Design Bridge London, right? They did it. Then, if you use deodorant, and let me say this, friends, you are young. The deodorant market, I think I was the first guy who reimagined it. That story is there. Before me, everybody sold Dio. I was the first guy who said, I will not sell Dio, I'll sell perfume. Today, all brands say that, we sell perfume. That idea of no to Dio, yes to perfume was mine, right? I do workshop for Mercedes Benz on digital leadership. I've done workshop for on digital leadership. I've done workshop for MNC companies on 21st century skills. These knowledge, I have condensed it in a story format so that it is easy for you to understand. So there are no frameworks. The frameworks are explained to stories which you can relate to. I have used some of the most amazing companies in India and abroad to narrate their stories so that you can relate with it and make them yours. So these are the reasons why, if you read this book, you will actually benefit a lot.
Great, sir. Great, sir. So, just one final question. So, ladies and gentlemen, I've put the link in the YouTube, in the Facebook, and in the LinkedIn comment. If you haven't yet done so, go grab your copy right now. So just one last question.
Just,
How
just
can
one thing, just
please,
one thing,
please,
friends. I mean, this is a digital age. Buy the hard
Kindle?
copy. You can buy the Kindle edition, but I would recommend buy the hard copy. The sense of smell and the knowledge that comes out still is very powerful. You can
Great.
smell the knowledge, right? So my
Huh.
suggestion is, if you like, do buy the physical copy. It will really be an asset to you. And before that, check out the reviews on Amazon. Check
Hmm.
out the reviews. After you read the reviews, then you should buy it if you feel encouraged. Yes, sir. Over to you, Aditya.
Great, great. So, sir, one last question. How can people reach out to you, sir?
Oh, through LinkedIn. Every
I'll
single day, I post one. I post one insight perspective every single day without fail. Right? Okay, give me one of those off days, but every single day you can check out my LinkedIn profile. You can also give the link there.
yes,
Of
sir.
I think
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
I'm just sharing that, sir. I'm just sharing that on the
Please join
screen.
me on LinkedIn. It will be a pleasure, honor to share and spread this knowledge to rest of your friends also.
I'm just sharing the LinkedIn screen. Just a minute, sir. And here is the LinkedIn screen. And here we are. Here is your LinkedIn profile, sir. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the book. And also do connect with Sir. Every day he comes out with practical knowledge content where you can read about him. All the case studies are very strong. And that was something, sir, that really inspired me to invite you because I was just going through your recent post, which you had shared today only. It was about
Yeah.
backpack. Every day
Oh
you
no,
come
no.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah, yesterday one
this one.
where you had mentioned this thick bagpiper one. I really loved it, sir. And also the life nuggets which you shared, these are really powerful. So I would encourage everyone, please do connect with sir. Excellent, excellent, sir. So, sir, it has been our honor to invite you. And Dhara Goenka has mentioned, sir, she would love to read your book and she would love to get in touch with you. So, Dhara, do connect with sir over LinkedIn. And for other members also, do connect with sir over LinkedIn. Do follow his posts. They are also valuable and practical wisdom. Sir, it has been a sheer pleasure to invite you and to learn from you, sir.
Hey, Aditya, all I can say is a big thank you for providing me this platform to share my knowledge and what I wish to do in life. यार समय बहुत कम है. Can I just end this with one small
Please,
anecdote?
please, please, sir.
I was the marketing head of McDowell and Company. Now it's called Diageo. At that time, it was McDowell. So I was the marketing head, and my age was 35 that time. And my president, he was 6 feet tall. I'm not very tall, so he was 6 feet tall, and we were going in Hyderabad for a meeting. The president and me, I was general manager marketing of McDowell and Company. So he looked down on me and said, "I envy you." I looked up at him and I said, "Sir, किधर आप president, किधर मैं general manager, आप क्या envy करोगे? Why will you envy me?" He says, "No, no, no, I don't envy you for your position. I envy you because you have time on your side and I don't." That time he was 67 and I was 35. So today when I look at young people like you, Aditya, I really feel, yeah, you guys are lucky. You have time on your side, I don't. So friends, make the most of the time you have with you, so that when you reach my age, you can also, share these wonderful stories from your life. Thank you so much, Aditya, for inviting.
Thank you, sir. And sir, what is your one word for the upcoming speakers? Because this is my tribute to giving it back to the communities, and that is why I call it the story of opportunities. What is your one word, sir, for the upcoming speaker and guest?
It's only what you said actually sums it up. This world is full of opportunities. These opportunities, the problem is these opportunities come disguised as problem, and we are so used to looking at problems and ignoring opportunities that opportunities go away. And Aditya, what I find is that you take this opportunity and uncover them so that people can experience and chase these opportunities and make it their own.
Wow. Thank you, sir. And we are the chat box is flooded. Shavik is saying thank you so much, sir, for sharing your learnings with us. We'll surely get in touch with you. You have inspired me so much. Ashish has mentioned thank you, sir, for such an inviting you, sir. Then we have got Anuradha chance encounter today. So good. I logged in. Very well shared. Thanks, Anuradha. Then we have got Nitish. Thank you, sir. Then we have
Hey,
got
no manipulation. Huh? Hey, no, not Nitish. That was Amit. Sorry.
Amit has mentioned. Surely, sir, love to have you, sir, and thanks a lot. You're welcome, Amit. Great, great, great. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, we'll be back with another guest, another episode, same place, same time, same station, stories of opportunity. Thank you once again, sir. It's a sheer pleasure to host you, sir.
Thank you, guys. And, our country is a great country. Let's work to make it even better. Thanks, guys. And young people, it's on your shoulder. Huh? मेरा तो काम हो गया. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sheer pleasure, sir. Take care.